Hi students, good morning, how are you? I hope you are always in good condition. Today we are going to learn about the rate of change, and basically we will learn about the relationship between rate of change and the derivative of a function. So to understand more about this relation, you have to see and check this video. Our topic today is about the rate of change. What is rate of change? Rate of change means a rate that describes how one quantity changes in relation to another quantity. Basically, we involve y and x in rate of change, so that the formula is rate of change equals to change in y over the change in x. There are two rates of change that we need to learn today. The first one is the average rate of change, and the second one is instantaneous rate of change. Let's start from the average rate of change. I will show you an example of rate of change, which is the average velocity. We know that the average velocity equals to the change in displacement over the change in time. I will show two cases involving the average velocity. This is the first case. Case 1, linear function, and this is the illustration. X-axis represents the time and y-axis represents the displacement. Now, if it is the average velocity from A to B, it will be the change of y over the change of x. So clearly we have that delta y, which is the change in y, over the delta x, which is the change in x, equals to 40 minus 20 over 4 minus 2. So the result equals to 10 meters per second. As you can see here, the average velocity from A to B is also the gradient of the line connecting two endpoints A, B. Similarly, if we calculate the average velocity from point B to C, it will be delta y over delta x. Delta y is change in y, delta x is change in x. Delta y or change in y is 60 minus 40. Delta x or change in x is 6 minus 4. So average velocity from B to C is 10 meters per second. Remember that this is also the gradient of the line connecting two endpoints B and C. Since point A, point B and point C are on the same straight line, then we can conclude that the gradients of the line at any point or any interval are equal. This is case number 2, nonlinear function. In the illustration, it shows that the car will move from point A. Point A, B, and point C lie on the curve. If the car moves from point A to point B, we can calculate the average velocity from point A to B by calculating the gradient that connects two points A, B. So the average velocity of AB equals to 7.5 meters per second. Similarly, if the car moves from point B to C, then the average velocity will be calculated by calculate the gradient of the line connecting two points B and C. So the average velocity BC equals to 20 meters per second. From here, we can conclude that the gradients of the curve change as the intervals change. Now we are talking about the instantaneous rate of change, and to understand this, let's see this illustration. This illustration shows a curve where the point 4,20 lies on the curve, and we are going to find the rate of change at this single point. Now, we need the help of other points on the curve. Take a point 6,60, and if we calculate the gradient of the line connecting these 2 points, then it will be the average rate of change, which is 20. If we take the other point which is closer to point 4,20, let's say this point, then the gradient will be different. Take the other point which is closer to 4,20 than the other points, then the gradient will be different. If we take very close point to point 4,20, the gradient will be the gradient of the tangent. Since we learned that the gradient of the tangent equals to the derivative of the function, we can conclude that the derivative of the function is the instantaneous rate of change. The gradient at a specific point on the curve is the instantaneous rate of change. The instantaneous rate of change is the first derivative of the curve at a specific point. Let's see an example from your textbook. Water is dripping into a bowl from a leaking tap such that the depth h cm of the water in the bowl at time t second is given by h equals to square root of 1 plus 2t. For question part A, find the depth of the water when t equals 0 and t equals 4. For question part B, find the rate of change of the depth at t equals 4. So the solution is like this. Firstly, we rewrite the function h equals the square root of 1 plus 2t as the function of the water in the bowl at time t seconds. And then when t equals 0, for question A, it is directly giving the value of h, which is h equals to square root of 1 plus 2 times 0 equals 1 cm by substituting the value of t equals 0. Similarly, when t equals 4, then the h equals square root of 1 plus 2 times 4 equals 3 cm. This shows the depth of the water when t equals 0 and t equals 4. For question part B, we are going to find the rate of change of the depth at t equals 4 or at a specific value of t. Then, it will be easier to find it using the derivative of the depth. We know that the function h, square root of 1 plus 2t, can be converted into the indices form like this: 1 plus 2t in bracket to the power of 1 over 2. Then, because the rate of the change at the specific point is the derivative of the depth, the first derivative of h equals to 1 over 2 times in bracket 1 plus 2t to the power of negative 1 over 2 times 2 using the chain rule. This will be converted to 1 over the square root of 1 plus 2t. When t equals 4, the rate of change of the depth will be equals to 1 over the square root of 1 plus 2 times 4 by substituting the value of t equals 4. So if we simplify this, dh dt, which is the rate of change at the depth of at t equals 4, equals to 1 over 3 cm per second. Let's try this question. The radius of a circular water ripple is increasing at a constant rate of 2 cm per second. Find the rate at which the area of the water ripple is increasing when the radius is 10 cm. So here is the solution. Firstly, we have to rewrite all the variables involving in this question. So, for example, r equals to the radius and a equals to the area of the circle, because we know that the circular water ripple is assumed to be the circle. So, the area itself equals to pi r square, which is the area of the circle, and the rate of change of radius with respect to t, which is shown by 2 cm per second, is dr dt, the rate of change of radius with respect to t. The question asks, find the rate at which the area of water ripple is increasing when the radius is 10 cm, means we need to find the rate of change of the area with respect to t. So, we are going to find the relationship between the rate of change of area and the rate of change of radius, which is dA dt, shows the rate of change of the area with respect to t, equals to the rate of change of the area with respect to radius times the rate of change of radius with respect to t, involving the chain rule. When the radius is 10 cm, we can calculate the rate at which the area of the water ripple is increasing. So we start from dA dr, or the change of the area with respect to r, equals to the first derivative of pi r square. Pi is a constant, so that derivative equals to 2 pi r. When we have dr dt, which is the rate of change of the radius with respect to t, equals to 2 cm per second from the question. Since the rate of change of the area with respect to t is dA dt, as we have shown before, dA dr times dr dt equals 2 pi r times 2. 2 pi r is dA dr and dr dt equals to 2 cm per second. Now we substitute the value of r equals 10 based on the question. So we will simplify this. Will be 40 pi centimeter square per second, which shows the unit for the change of area with respect to t, equals to 125.6 centimeter square per second. Let's try the other example. A plastic cup is in the shape of an inverted circular cone of base radius 6 cm and height 15 cm. Water is poured into it at a constant rate of 4 cm cubic per second. Find the rate of change of the radius of the water surface when the depth of the water is 9 cm. So let's illustrate this inverted circular cone at the first place. So this is the inverted circular cone with the base radius 6 cm and the height 15 cm. Remember, this is the inverted circular cone. Water is going to be poured into this circular cone at a constant rate of 4 cm cubic per second. And we are going to find the rate of change of the radius. So we are going to find and rewrite all the variables. What are they? We find r for the base radius, h for the depth of the water, and v for the volume of the inverted circular cone. From this, we know that the volume of the cone is 1/3 pi r square times the height of the cone. And because in the question we found 4 cm cubic per second as the rate of change of the volume with respect to t, then we are going to find the rate of change of the radius dr dt when the depth of the water is 9 cm. Sometimes you have to think about the relationship between the rate of change of the volume with respect to t dv dt and the rate of change of the radius with respect to time dr dt. But before we go to that, let's see this illustration of the inverted circular cone. Let's draw cone TAB, where T is the top of the cone and AB are the points on the circular base. Let's draw NT such that N is the center of the circle, and as we can see, NB and NT is perpendicular each other. If we pour water into it, then the radius of the water will be r. Point C and point D are points on this circle with the center M. And then we can see that there are two triangles shown in the picture. They are triangle TMD and triangle TNB. They are also similar so that we can see that the ratio of the corresponding sides are equal. So we can say that r/6 equals to h/15. h equals 15r/6. So that if v equals 1/3 pi r square h, we can convert v all into the variable of r. So that we substitute h equals 15r/6 into v, so that v equals to 5 pi/6 r cubed. Okay, now we have thought about the relationship between dv dt, dv dr, and dr dt, and it shows that dv dt equals to the dv dr times dr dt. Since we know that dv dr is the first derivative of v with respect to r, and we already knew that v equals 5 pi/6 times r cubed, then we can directly have the first derivative, which is equals to 5 pi/2 times r squared. This is dv dr. In the question, we already knew that dv dt equals 4 cm cubed per second. dv dt equals 4 cm cubed per second. So that, rewriting the relationship, dv dt equals dv dr times dr dt, and substitute the value of dv dt and dv dr, so we will obtain 4, which is dv dt, equals to 5 pi over 2 r square, which is dv/dr, times dr dt. From here, we have dr dt. dr dt equals to 8 over 5 pi r square. Once again, in the question, we are going to see dr dt at h equals 9. So, based on the calculation, using the similar triangles, at h equals 9 cm, we will find that radius or r equals 18 over 5. So that dr dt at h equals 9 cm represents dr dt at r equals 18 over 5. So directly by substituting the value of r equals 18 over 5, we will obtain dr dt equals to 8 over 5 pi in bracket 18 for 5 in the bracket and then squared. Then we can simplify this, will be 8 over 324 over 5 pi. If we simplify it, it will be 10 over 81 pi. The decimal value for this is 0.0393 cm per second. This is the answer for the question. Okay, that's all for the lesson video today about the rate of change. I hope you can understand and you can do your exercise well. If you have some questions, please feel free to ask me via WhatsApp or Line.